I remember when I was just starting out working as a stock clerk, I'd look around to see people who'd been there for years, decades even, doing the same thing day in and day out. And I thought to myself, Jim, is this all there is? But then I realized something profound. The difference between where I was and where I wanted to be was the actions I was willing to take. You've got to understand, success doesn't come to you. You've got to go out and get it. And that means taking action, not just once in a while, not just when you feel like it, but every single day. It's about creating habits, routines, disciplines that move you forward inch by inch, day by day. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but Jim, I don't always feel motivated. I don't always feel inspired. Well, let me tell you something. Motivation is like bathing. It doesn't last, which is why we recommend it daily. You can't wait for motivation to strike. You've got to create it through action. Think about it this way. Every day you have a choice. You can either take actions that move you closer to your goals, or you can take actions that move you further away. There's no standing still in life. You're either moving forward or falling behind. And here's the thing, the actions you take today, they compound. Just like interest in a bank account, the small actions you take consistently over time add up to create massive results. That's the power of daily action. It's not about making leaps and bounds every day. It's about making progress, however small, every single day. Let me share a little secret with you. The most successful people I know, they don't rely on motivation. They rely on discipline. They've trained themselves to take action regardless of how they feel, because they understand that feelings are fleeting but results are lasting. Now, I want you to think about your own life for a moment. What actions have you been putting off? What steps have you been avoiding? Maybe it's making that phone call you've been dreading. Maybe it's starting that business you've been dreaming about. Maybe it's having that difficult conversation you've been postponing. Whatever it is, I want you to make a commitment right here, right now. Commit to taking action on that thing, not tomorrow, not next week, but today. Because here's the truth, the pain of discipline weighs ounces, but the pain of regret weighs tons. You see, every day that you don't take action is a day lost. It's a day you can never get back. And over time, those lost days add up to lost weeks, lost months, lost years. Before you know it, you're looking back on your life wondering, what if? What if I had taken action? What if I had pushed through my fears? What if I had started when I first had the idea? Don't let that be your story. Don't let inaction rob you of the life you could have had. Because here's the thing, the future you want, the life you dream of, it's on the other side of action. It's on the other side of doing the things that most people aren't willing to do. I want you to understand something fundamental. Success is not a destination. It's a journey. It's a process. And that process is made up of the actions you take every single day. It's about the habits you form, the disciplines you cultivate, the routines you establish. Think about it like building a house. You don't just wake up one day and there's a house. No, you build it brick by brick, day by day. And that's exactly how you build a successful life. Action by action, day by day. Now, I know some of you are sitting there thinking, but Jim, I've tried taking action before. I've started projects and never finished them. I've made plans and never followed through. And to that I say, welcome to the club. We've all been there. The difference is, are you going to let those past experiences define your future, or are you going to learn from them and move forward? You see, taking action isn't about being perfect. It's not about never failing. In fact, if you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough. Taking action is about progress, not perfection. It's about moving forward, even if it's just one small step at a time. Let me tell you a story. Years ago, I met a young man who wanted to be a writer. He had dreams of publishing novels, of seeing his name on bestseller lists. But there was one problem. He wasn't writing. He had all these ideas in his head, all these stories he wanted to tell, but he wasn't putting pen to paper. So I asked him, how many words have you written this week? And he looked at me sheepishly and said, none. And I said, well, there's your problem. You can't be a writer if you don't write. Now, here's what we did. We set a goal. I told him, I want you to write 100 words every day. That's it, just 100 words. Can you do that? And he said, sure, I can do that. And you know what? He did. For a week, he wrote 100 words every day. Then we upped it to 200, then 500. Fast forward a few years, and that young man has published 3 novels, all because he committed to taking action every day, no matter how small. That's the power of daily action. It's not about making quantum leaps, it's about consistent, persistent effort over time. It's about showing up every day, doing the work even when you don't feel like it, even when you can't see the results yet. Because here's the truth, the results will come. They always do. But they come to those who take action, not to those who wait for the perfect moment, not to those who make excuses, but to those who show up day after day, putting in the work. Now, I want to address something that I know is on many of your minds. You're thinking, but Jim, I'm busy. I have a job, I have a family, I have responsibilities. Where am I supposed to find the time to take all this action? And to that, I say, you don't find time, you make time. You make time for the things that are important to you. And if your dreams, if your goals, if the life you want to create isn't important enough to make time for, then maybe it's time to reevaluate your priorities. Because here's the thing, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. The difference is how we choose to use them. Are you using your time to move closer to your goals, or are you letting it slip away on things that don't matter? I want you to start looking at your day differently. I want you to start seeing every hour, every minute as an opportunity to take action. Maybe it's reading a book during your lunch break instead of scrolling through social media. Maybe it's waking up 30 minutes earlier to work on your side business. Maybe it's using your commute time to listen to educational podcasts instead of the radio. It's about making the most of the time you have, because time is the one resource we can't get more of. Once it's gone forever. So use it wisely, use it to take action. Now let's talk about something that often holds people back from taking action: fear. Fear of failure, fear of the unknown, fear of what others might think. These fears can be paralyzing. They can keep you stuck, trapped in a life that's less than what you're capable of. But here's what I want you to understand. Fear is a natural part of the process. It's not something to be avoided. It's something to be embraced. Because fear is often a sign that you're moving in the right direction. It's a sign that you're pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, that you're growing, that you're taking action on something meaningful. The most successful people I know, they're not fearless. They feel the fear, but they take action anyway. They understand that courage isn't the absence of fear, it's taking action in spite of fear. So the next time you feel fear creeping in, I want you to see it as a good sign. I want you to say to yourself, this fear means I'm growing. This fear means I'm taking action on something important. And then I want you to take that action anyway. Because here's the truth, on the other side of fear is growth. On the other side of fear is progress. On the other side of fear is the life you've been dreaming of. Now, let's talk about another crucial aspect of taking daily action: accountability. You see, it's one thing to make a commitment to yourself. It's another thing entirely to make that commitment public, to have someone holding you accountable. I want you to find an accountability partner, someone who shares your drive, your ambition, your commitment to taking daily action. It could be a friend, a family member, a colleague. It doesn't matter who it is, as long as it's someone who will hold you to your commitment, someone who will push you when you need pushing, someone who will celebrate your wins and help you learn from your setbacks. Every day, check in with your accountability partner. Share your goals for the day, the actions you plan to take, and at the end of the day, report back. Did you do what you said you would do? If not, why not? What can you do differently tomorrow? This level of accountability can be transformative, because when you know someone is waiting to hear about your progress, you're much more likely to follow through. You're much more likely to take that action even when you don't feel like it. And here's another powerful tool for taking daily action: the power of writing things down. I want you to start each day by writing down your goals, your plans, the actions you're going to take. There's something magical that happens when you put pen to paper. It makes your goals real. It makes your commitments concrete. Keep a journal. Document your journey. Write down your successes, your challenges, your insights. This isn't just about record keeping. It's about creating a dialogue with yourself, about reinforcing your commitment to taking action every single day. Now let's address something that I know many of you struggle with: perfectionism. The desire to get everything just right before you take action. Let me tell you something. Perfectionism is the enemy of progress. It's the thief of dreams. You don't have to have everything figured out before you start. You don't need the perfect plan. You just need to take action. Because here's the truth, clarity comes from engagement, not thought. The more action you take, the clearer your path becomes. Think about it like driving at night. Your headlights only illuminate the next 100 feet or so of road. But you can make the entire journey that way, 100 feet at a time. That's how taking daily action works. You don't need to see the entire path. You just need to see the next step and then take it. And as you take those steps, as you take action day after day, something incredible happens. You start to build momentum, and momentum, my friends, is a powerful force. It's what turns small actions into big results. It's what transforms dreams into reality. Think about a flywheel. When you first start pushing it, it's hard. It takes a lot of effort to get it moving. But as you keep pushing, as you keep taking action, it gets easier. The flywheel starts to move faster to build momentum. And before you know it, it's spinning with its own energy. That's what happens when you commit to taking action every day. At first, it might feel hard. It might feel like you're not making progress. But if you keep at it, if you keep taking those actions day after day, you'll start to build momentum. And once you have momentum on your side, there's no telling how far you can go. Now, I want to talk about something that's crucial for sustained action, self-care. Because here's the thing, you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't take meaningful action if you're burnt out, if you're exhausted, if you're not taking care of yourself. So part of your daily action plan needs to include self-care. That means getting enough sleep. It means eating well. It means exercising regularly. It means taking time for relaxation and rejuvenation. Because when you take care of yourself, you have more energy, more focus, more drive to take the actions that matter. And let's not forget about the power of celebration. Celebrate your wins, no matter how small. Did you make that phone call you've been putting off? Celebrate it. Did you write those 100 words? Celebrate it. Did you go to the gym when you didn't feel like it? Celebrate it. Celebration reinforces positive behavior. It creates a positive feedback loop that makes you want to take more action. So don't wait for the big wins to celebrate. Celebrate the small actions, the daily progress, because those small celebrations will fuel you for the journey ahead. Now, I want to address something that I know many of you struggle with, comparison. In this age of social media, it's easy to look at what others are doing and feel like you're falling behind. But let me tell you something, the only person you need to compare yourself to is who you were yesterday. Are you taking more action today than you did yesterday? Are you making more progress this week than you did last week? That's what matters, because your journey is unique. Your path is your own, and the actions you need to take are specific to your goals, your dreams, your circumstances. So stop looking at what everyone else is doing. Focus on your own journey. Focus on the actions you need to take today to move closer to your goals. Because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. And speaking of focus, let's talk about the importance of priorities. You see, not all actions are created equal. Some actions will move you closer to your goals faster than others. And it's your job to figure out what those high-impact actions are and prioritize them. I want you to start each day by asking yourself, what's the one thing I can do today that will have the biggest impact on my goals? And then I want you to do that thing first. Before you check your email, before you get caught up in the busyness of the day, do that one high-impact thing. Because here's the truth. If you can knock out your most important task first thing in the morning, everything else becomes easier. You build momentum, you build confidence, and you ensure that no matter what else happens that day, you've moved the needle on what matters most. Now, let's talk about something that often gets overlooked when we discuss taking action, the power of reflection. You see, taking action isn't just about doing. It's also about learning. It's about reflecting on what's working, what's not, and how you can improve. At the end of each day, I want you to take a few minutes to reflect. Ask yourself, what actions did I take today that moved me closer to my goals? What didn't go as planned? What did I learn? How can I do better tomorrow? This reflection time is crucial. It allows you to course correct. It allows you to refine your approach. It ensures that the actions you're taking are actually moving you in the right direction. And as you reflect, I want you to pay attention to your self-talk. The way you speak to yourself has a profound impact on the actions you take. If you're constantly criticizing yourself, if you're constantly focusing on your shortcomings, you're going to find it hard to take consistent action. Instead, I want you to speak to yourself with kindness, with encouragement. Recognize your efforts. Acknowledge your progress. Be your own biggest cheerleader. Because the more you believe in yourself, the more action you'll take. And the more action you take, the more you'll believe in yourself. It's a beautiful self-reinforcing cycle. Now, let's address something that I know many of you struggle with, overwhelm. When you start thinking about all the actions you need to take to achieve your goals, it can feel overwhelming. It can feel like too much. And that feeling of overwhelm can lead to paralysis. But here's what I want you to remember. You don't have to do it all at once. You just have to do something. Anything, take one small action, then another, then another. Break your big goals down into small manageable actions. Actions you can take today, right now. Because here's the truth. Small actions taken consistently over time lead to big results. It's not about making quantum leaps. It's about making steady progress day after day, week after week, month after month. And as you take these actions, as you make this progress, I want you to pay attention to how you feel. Notice the sense of accomplishment, the boost in confidence, the increase in energy. These positive feelings are the reward for taking action. They're what will keep you going when things get tough. Because make no mistake, there will be tough times. There will be days when you don't feel like taking action. There will be setbacks, obstacles, challenges. But it's in these moments that your commitment to daily action becomes most important. You see, success isn't about what you do when you feel motivated. It's about what you do when you don't feel like doing anything at all. It's about taking action even when you don't see immediate results. It's about pushing through the resistance, about showing up even when you don't feel like it. Because here's the thing, the actions you take when you don't feel like it are often the most important actions of all. They're the ones that truly test your commitment. They're the ones that separate those who achieve their dreams from those who merely dream about achieving. Now, I want to talk about something that's crucial for sustained action, surrounding yourself with the right people. You've heard me say it before, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And this is especially true when it comes to taking action. If you're surrounded by people who are complacent, who are content with mediocrity, who are always making excuses, guess what? You're going to find it hard to take consistent action. But if you surround yourself with people who are driven, who are constantly pushing themselves, who are committed to growth and progress, you'll find it much easier to take action yourself. So take a look at your circle. Are the people around you lifting you up or holding you back? Are they encouraging you to take action or enabling your excuses? If you find that your current circle isn't supporting your growth, it might be time to expand your network. Seek out people who inspire you, who challenge you, who make you want to be better. And speaking of inspiration, let's talk about the power of role models. Find people who have achieved what you want to achieve. Study them. Learn from them. What actions did they take to get where they are? What habits did they cultivate? What disciplines did they master? Now, I'm not saying you should try to be exactly like someone else. Your journey is unique. But you can learn from others' experiences. You can adopt their best practices. You can be inspired by their success to take more action in your own life. Remember, success leaves clues. And one of the biggest clues is this: successful people take consistent action. They don't wait for the perfect moment. They don't make excuses. They take action day in and day out, regardless of how they feel, regardless of the circumstances. Now, let's address something that often holds people back from taking action, the fear of making mistakes. Let me tell you something, mistakes are not your enemy, action is. Mistakes are how you learn. They're how you grow. They're how you refine your approach. I want you to start seeing mistakes not as failures, but as feedback. Every mistake, every setback, every failure is simply information. It's telling you what doesn't work so you can figure out what does. The only true failure is not taking action at all. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. Be afraid of not trying. Be afraid of letting your dreams slip away because you were too scared to take action. Because here's the truth, at the end of your life, you're not going to regret the mistakes you made. You're going to regret the chances you didn't take, the actions you didn't take, the life you didn't live because you were too afraid to try. And let's talk about something else that often holds people back, waiting for the right time. Let me tell you something, there is no right time, there's only now. The present moment is all you have. It's all you're guaranteed. So stop waiting for the perfect moment to take action. Stop saying, I'll start when, because when never comes. There will always be reasons to wait, excuses to delay. But if you're serious about your goals, if you're serious about creating the life you want, you've got to start now. Today, with whatever resources you have and whatever circumstances you find yourself. Because here's the thing, the conditions will never be perfect. You'll never have all the information, all the resources, all the support you think you need. But you know what? You don't need all of that to start. You just need to take one small action. And then another. And then another. Now, I want to address something that I know many of you struggle with: consistency. It's one thing to take action once in a while. It's another thing entirely to take action consistently, day after day, week after week, month after month. Consistency is where the real magic happens. It's what turns actions into habits, habits into character, and character into destiny. But consistency isn't easy. It requires discipline. It requires commitment. It requires showing up even when you don't feel like it. So how do you develop this consistency? You start small. You make your daily actions so small, so easy that you can't say no. Want to start exercising? Don't commit to an hour at the gym every day. Start with 5 push-ups. Want to start writing? Don't try to write a novel in a month. Start with 100 words a day. Make your daily actions so small that it feels ridiculous not to do them. Because here's the thing, once you take that small action, you'll often find yourself doing more. But even if you don't, even if you only do that small action, you're still moving forward. You're still making progress. And speaking of progress, let's talk about the importance of tracking it. You see, when you're in the thick of things, when you're taking action day after day, it can sometimes feel like you're not making progress. That's why it's crucial to track your actions, to measure your progress. Keep a log of the actions you take each day. Measure your progress week by week, month by month. Because when you look back, when you see how far you've come, it becomes fuel for future action. It becomes proof that your efforts are paying off, that your actions are making a difference. Now, I want to talk about something that's often overlooked when we discuss taking action, the power of rest. Yes, you heard me right, rest, because taking action doesn't mean working yourself to the bone. It doesn't mean pushing yourself to exhaustion. Effective action requires energy. It requires focus. And for that, you need rest. You need time to recharge, to rejuvenate. So make rest part of your action plan. Schedule time for relaxation, for hobbies, for activities that energize you. Because when you're well rested, when you're energized, you're able to take more effective action. And let's not forget about the power of visualization. Before you take action, take a moment to visualize the outcome you want. See yourself achieving your goals. Feel the emotions of success. Because when you can see it in your mind, when you can feel it in your heart, you're much more likely to take the actions necessary to make it a reality. Now, as we near the end of our time together, I want to leave you with this thought. The actions you take today are creating your future. Every action, no matter how small, is a vote for the person you want to become, for the life you want to create. So I ask you, what kind of future are you creating with your actions? Are you taking actions that move you closer to your dreams, or actions that keep you stuck where you are? Are you taking actions that expand your possibilities, or actions that limit them? Because here's the truth, you have the power to shape your destiny through your actions. You have the power to create the life you want, to become the person you aspire to be. But that power lies in the actions you take, not someday, not when conditions are perfect, but today. Right now. So I challenge you, starting today, commit to taking action every single day. Commit to doing something, no matter how small, that moves you closer to your goals. Commit to pushing through the resistance, to facing your fears, to showing up even when you don't feel like it. Because when you commit to taking action every day, when you make it a non-negotiable part of your life, that's when everything changes. That's when you start to see real progress. That's when you start to transform your life. Remember, success is not about making one big decision. It's about making 1,000 small decisions, taking 1,000 small actions day after day, week after week, year after year. It's about consistency. It's about persistence. It's about never giving up no matter how many times you fall. So go out there and take action. Start small if you need to start, and keep going. Keep pushing. Keep taking action every single day, because your dreams are waiting for you on the other side of action. Your best life is waiting for you on the other side of action. And I promise you this, if you commit to taking action every day, if you push through the tough times, if you keep going even when you can't see the results yet, you will achieve things you never thought possible. You will become a person you never imagined you could be. So let this be the day. Let this be the moment you decide to take control of your life through action. Let this be the day you commit to forcing yourself to take action every single day. Because when you do, when you make that commitment and follow through, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Thank you for your time, for your attention, for your commitment to growth. Now go out there and take action. Your future self will thank you for it.